team to get motivated coming to Lake Superior State this upcoming weekend?
Yeah, we're just again, we've been trying to take things day by day. The results weren't what we wanted last week, but the reality is that we felt like over the course of that weekend we did some good things and had players and as a team, individually and collectively as a team, play well and gave ourselves opportunities over the course of the weekend. But from a result standpoint, frustrating. But we move forward because this is our next opportunity, and that's how we operate on a daily basis. And our approach after the game Saturday was just, listen, fellas, we have to stay with this. We have to continue to move forward. We have to continue to come to the rink every day and commit to each other and commit to being as good as we can be on that day. And that's what they've done up to this point this week. And so got a couple more days of practice, and then we'll get ready to play on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, they had a really down year last year. Now it seems like they've kind of steered the ship, in the right direction. How do you kind of scout a team that probably wasn't as good last year, but now is much improved in early season?
Yeah, I mean, I think, from the video perspective and what we see of them is they look like they've got buy-in from their group and everybody's on the same page. And, any kind of external expectations or kind of where people believed that this team would be, ultimately what the players in the Lake Superior State locker room and the coaching staff believe they're capable of is the reality, and they've done a good job. They're scoring goals lately, and they've been in a bunch of games, and they've been winning games of late. So it's going to be a challenge, and so credit to them for. Again, at the end of last year, they, like all of us, we reflect on how do we get better, how do we improve, how do we take steps forward, and whatever they've done in the off season has worked, and they're in a good spot right now.
What do you take away from last weekend and bring it into this weekend against us?
Our game, winning's hard. We've said that all along. Winning in college hockey is really hard. You look at the scores every weekend, and there's close games, and games you think shouldn't be close are close, and teams you think shouldn't win or isn't supposed to win, a team does win. So we take away the fact that I believe, and we believe as a team, that every CCHA series is going to be similar to last weekend, and that it's going to be close. It's going to be hotly contested. It's going to be tight. The margin for error isn't real great, and so we're going to have to get comfortable being in those kinds of series. And the more comfortable we can get being in those kinds of series, the better the results are going to be for us, because I just don't see it changing. It doesn't matter if you're home or on the road, and if you're playing in the UP or you're playing in Minnesota or you're playing in Bowling Green. The series are going to be very, very close, and the team that executes at a higher level and the team that maybe gets a bounce or two or is more disciplined or sticks to their game plan and is more patient, that's the team that's probably going to end up on the right side of it.
And then against Mercyhurst, the lines were a little bit shifted around. Some mixed match guys. Against St. Thomas, they were more set between the 2 days. What's the idea going forward?
Yeah, part of that is how guys are playing. Part of that is who's available and who's able to play. And we did make a small change or two maybe on Saturday, but again, we're always looking to find the right mix, right? And especially in our case, with if you look at the results, if you're winning a bunch of games in a row, you typically don't make changes, right? And if you're feeling great about your team and you've gotten all the bounces and things have gone your way, you're not going to make a bunch of changes. Status quo kind of moves you forward. And then if you aren't happy with the results and you're just kind of prone to make a change. So hopefully, we've got an idea. We've been pretty consistent this week with our lineup in practice, and our plan will be to start Friday's game with what we've been doing here in practice on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And hopefully the results are good and we can continue to stay that way.
You've scored a power play goal in 4 of your last 5 games. What have you liked from that power play that kind of seemed to struggle to begin the year? That they're finally.
Yeah, there was a time, I think, Stavros Pascaris is in charge of the power play, and Stav and those groups have worked really hard at trying to get the results. And it was funny, we had a conversation earlier this week, and we for the first time as a staff, looked at the stats of what the percentage the power play was operating at, and it was actually higher than we all thought, because we thought, based on our feeling and based on our expectations, we felt like it was just at a very, very low percentage, but actually it was higher. And so there's capable players on that group. And Saturday we actually had some, we scored the power play goal with Gustav Sternberg, but we had some really, really good looks, especially late, like Ryan O'Hara. Josh Nodler made a great play to Ryan O'Hara when the game was tied. And unfortunately it didn't finish, but it was they did everything but put it in the back of the net. So getting good looks and breaking things down and making sure that we're doing the things we're practicing and we're being coached to do based on our opponent, and then executing is a key. So it's nice to see them start to get a little momentum, and because the more you score, it becomes contagious. Now, if one group scores, then the other group wants to score, and those kinds of things. So we believe it's on the right track.